Today's guest is a travel-addicted photographer and Sony Ambassador. He has taken a bunch of amazing pics in loads of genres, and I highly recommend you check out his Instagram page for some amazing stills around the world. It gave me the travel bug for sure, and I guarantee it will happen to you as well. How he takes his pictures, his favorite spots to travel, and what he loves about photography, and a few other things we're going to talk about today. Welcome, Kyle.
Woo!
How you doing?
We made it. Good.
We made it.
I'm pumped, man. Summer's
feeling
finally
good?
here.
Well, first, like right before we start, yesterday, because you're a Sony ambassador, yesterday the new Sony A7R 4 came out.
Yes.
Your thoughts about the camera?
It is
61 megapixels?
61 megapixels. 61
That's
effective.
a lot of megapixels.
That's a lot of megapixels. No, it's a beast. I think that sets the standard for portrait, landscape, any sort of demanding kind of long form photography with a full frame camera.
Right.
I think that's the beast now.
So when do you need 61 megapixels? When
don't you need 61 megapixels? Ah, man, anytime you're going to zoom in just for that little extra detail when you're photoshopping,
Right.
having those extra pixels makes such a big difference.
Right.
I was, for example, I used to use the A9, and then
Yeah.
I switched to the A7R3, which I'm currently using now. 42 megapixels, double the megapixels almost, is just, like, it helps so much.
Right.
I'm not really much of a Photoshopper when it comes down to it, but the luxury is there, and I like having that.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
You excited to test it?
I'm pumped. The problem is I know my computer's not.
It won't handle it, yeah.
My computer's gonna shit the bed when I put those files in Lightroom. That's not gonna go well.
When you're an ambassador for one of the camera brands, is that like what happens? You get to test the camera out like when it comes out, or?
Yeah. They're super nice to me in that usually if something new comes out, then I'm super interested to try. I send them a message and say, hey, I just heard about the new camera. What are the chances I can get my hands on it? And usually within like a week or two, I can go out and give it a go.
Wow.
And they're super nice in that they trust me with the cameras for a pretty long term. So I get to use it for my professional work, for fun, for whatever I want. Yeah, it's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I'm
not
happy
too
with
bad.
it.
It's not too bad at all. People are jealous about that. How did you become an ambassador?
I begged. It's no joke. I spent like 2 years begging.
Really?
I found out who to talk to in Sony.
Just like spam them with emails.
Yeah, the problem
Yeah.
is in Sony they don't really have a marketing team. It's mostly just sales.
Yeah.
So I found out who the sales guys were, and I sent them a message and I say, hey, I take photos. I'm one of the only action photographers shooting with Sony cameras right now. This was before the mirrorless stuff came out.
All right.
I see you guys have the A99 II was the first one that I tried to play with. I see you guys have a new camera. I really want to come in and show you my photos. And I said, it's Monday, 12 o'clock, I'm going to show up. I hope you're there, basically, which borders harassment, but it played out pretty well for me, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. And then it was just 2 years of me going back and showing my photos and saying, hey, here's some new stuff I took. What do you think? And eventually one day the camera came out and they were like, you heard about the new camera, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's get you in. We'll sign a contract and let's see how we do. Yeah,
That's
so far
amazing.
so good.
Yeah. Did all right.
Yeah, I hope so.
And how did you get into photography in the first place? Do you remember that? Like, was
Ooh.
it always a passion?
This is a story that changes every time I tell it because I don't know exactly when that moment was.
Yeah.
But I think it comes from, I loved storytelling all my life. I've just been obsessed with storytelling. When I was a kid, I skied a lot. I spent a lot of time outside. My mother, being Norwegian, she forced me to, and I was totally happy to oblige. So I started working in journalism, actually, in the ski industry, and writing articles for websites, anything related to skiing. And eventually I realized that journalism was what I wanted to do. So I studied. 3 years later, studying in London, I hated it. And I realized if I bought my own camera, I could charge twice as much and do the same traveling. So they would send just me instead of me and a photographer, and I would get the money. And then the more I took photos, the more I was like, I can tell a better story with this. So I started shooting and skiing when I came back to Norway, and companies started to reach out and say, hey, we need photos. You take photos. And I mean, I can't say no to money.
Yeah.
I was young, I needed it, so
Yeah.
why not? And it just became an addiction. And
It's
here I am.
usually like combined with something else as well. You love taking pictures of something.
Always.
And for you,
Yeah.
it was like skiing and
me,
like
it was-
adventures.
Anything outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would take the camera. Just anytime I could tell a story or share it or
Yeah.
justify any sort of experience, that's where the camera came into play.
Because I saw that on that's what I noticed about your Instagram profile as well. Like you share a lot of like travel photos, and
Yeah.
they're all amazing as well.
Hey,
They're
thank you.
insane. Like,
I appreciate that.
yeah, but you do get like the travel bugs. Like, how do you make it look that good? Like, do you wait? Like, do you like, there's like a big motivation as well when you have a camera to like get up early and get the sunset and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what you do when you travel? Do you plan ahead
Yeah.
before you go out?
When I travel, I'm not much of a late sleeper.
Yeah.
That's much to my girlfriend's dismay. No, I think she appreciates it. I plan my travels according to what I think is going to be super photogenic. Not 100%, but majority, unless there's a commercial involved or a client, and then of course I'm there already.
Yeah.
But I also am just addicted to nature and being outside and hiking and new views. So when it comes to that, it's just natural that I go to these places. And when it comes to the photos and the editing, like the environment usually takes the photo itself. If you're up north in Norway at midnight sun and you're on top of a mountain, like you
Yeah.
can't take a bad photo. It's not going to
It's
happen.
impossible. Yeah.
I recently did, when I was in Lofoten last month, we had some midnight sun and I shot a photo with my phone and with a camera and came back and I couldn't tell which one was which.
Really?
Eventually, I was just like, these are both exactly how I would have shot the photo with any other equipment.
Does that worry you, or is that like a cool
No.
development?
Worry me as in like, am I scared somebody else is going to take the job with cheaper equipment or?
Yeah, like that, because like you can get amazing results from a phone now.
No, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
No, that just means my job is easier.
Exactly.
No. It's not too worrying. Any like new tools that make the job easier, I think is fun to play with, and it just
Yeah.
creates a new challenge. So why not? Yeah.
Exactly. But I see it like sometimes when I travel as well, like you want to like film a sunset or something like that, but you see like 50 other people taking the same picture with their phones as well. So
Yep.
it kind of like is a bit you lose motivation from that, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but like when you go on a hike and like you actually like seek out those kind of pictures, like it's
Yeah.
Have you ever like gone on a trip without a camera?
Oh my God. Have I? No. The closest I've ever been is like a compact camera.
Yeah.
And even that stressed me out.
Yeah.
That just limiting myself in terms of the quality of photo I can take, it gets to me.
I know like there's a challenge out there that a photographer did, and he went out on a trip and he only took like an analog camera with one film.
Why would you
Rolling.
do that?
But it was like to like restrict himself.
Why? Yeah, but he's gonna get home and realize that he could have shot 10 more photos that would have been just as cool from different angles.
But he said as well, like it's that one thing. It was like you have like now you have space for thousands of pictures. You get 12 good ones.
I think that's just an insecurity, to be honest. I think that's just somebody who's, I don't know, doesn't think they're as good as they could be, so they want to force themselves to try something new, which
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool and it's kind of fun challenge, but I mean, if you're good enough and you're happy with the photos that you take, then why would you limit yourself?
Yeah.
Just shoot away.
Yeah,
I mean,
go
I'll
for it.
come home with, like I said, I was in Lofoten for a week and I came home with like 3,000 photos.
Yeah. Pixels are
Why
free.
not?
Just
Yeah,
go
exactly.
for it. Yeah.
Exactly, except for the hard drive space.
Except for the hardware.
That's not free yet.
No, not
We're getting
yet.
there.
It's cheaper than it used to be. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, I'm just full send. I mean, leave it on burst, take all the photos.
Yeah.
You never know. Just millimeters difference might make a better photo, and you don't know until you get home. So it's-
Exactly.
yeah.
And when you do travel, is it always for like jobs that you get, or is it like do you go on like is it like holidays or something like that? Like what like because a lot of people do want to like travel full time. That's like how to travel full time. The articles around that is
Yeah.
insane. It's just loads of them. So
Yeah.
how did you how are you able to travel that much?
I would like to travel that much.
Yeah.
I use Instagram. You can post photos from the same trip over 2 weeks, and people still think you're out there.
Yeah,
which
that's the
helps
thing,
quite
yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
But in my case, I do like to travel, and I travel as much as possible. But it's half and half, commercial and fun. I travel for fun, and I try to sneak some commercial work in there, which a lot of these Instagrammers you'll see are doing.
Yeah.
They'll tag a lot of these brands that just like, if they're going on a vacation, for example, to some Norwegian mountainscape, they'll talk to a brand, which is something I do quite often, like Health Sports, the tents company. It's a Norwegian tents adventure sleeping bag company. And I'll just send them a message saying, hey, I'm going. I could use a sleeping bag. I could use a tent. Do you have something you can give me, and I can give you photos back?
Yeah.
Or car companies are very good for that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. Yeah.
That's something I've done before with Ford and with Jaguar. You just say, hey, I'm going on this awesome trip. I can get some dope photos of your car. Can you facilitate a car?
Yeah.
And usually it works out pretty well.
I actually did that. I went to Bali now for 3 weeks.
That looked awesome.
Yeah, and I went surfing there, and I went to a surf camp. And I sent them an email beforehand, says like, hey, I'm going to Bali on your surf camp.
Yeah.
I'm going to be filming a lot, and I've done filming for them before. It was like, I just asked them, it was like, would you guys be up for some filming and stuff like that if I can just stay at your camp for 2 weeks for free? And they were like, yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's getting more and more rare because there's so many people who want to do that.
Tons, yeah.
So that's a hell of a compliment that you got that. That's really cool.
It's nice, yeah. But I had work to show them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just like randomly.
That helps.
I had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I have asked them once before, and they said no because I didn't have anything. But now I made films at their camps before. So.
You want to plug the camp?
La Pointe.
La Pointe.
La Pointe
There you
surf
go.
camps, yeah.
They're in Portugal as well, right?
They're everywhere, man.
Yeah, okay.
Everywhere. They're in Morocco, Portugal, Sri Lanka, Bali, Costa Rica.
Are you a good surfer?
No, not really. Still love it though. I still love it.
It's one of those sports where you don't need to be good. It's just
Yeah,
fun.
it's so much fun, man. Like it's so much fun. There's waves for everyone. Like especially on Bali as well. Like you just say your level, how good you are, and they find waves for you.
Really? There's that many different size waves?
Tons, yeah. We have
that's
beach
cool.
breaks and reef breaks and
Oh, rad.
like point breaks and everything. So like a reef break is usually bigger, but if you're on the beach, you're fine.
Okay.
You'll be all right. Yeah.
That's fun.
But it's fun, man. Like I really, really enjoy it.
Mad
It's like a
jealous.
hobby. Yeah.
Jealous of your tan.
I got a massive tan. Well, moving on. What? So like you shoot with Sony cameras, but are you like into tech in general? Do you like pay attention to all the new stuff that comes out and everything, or?
The difference between new tech versus old tech is that now those two terms are just like 1 year apart. Year versus old. It's what
hard
is
to
it called?
keep
Like
up.
plant or dynamic obsolescence, when they invent new details that just barely make it better, so you have to switch and buy the new one.
Yeah.
That's the problem with tech, and I think it's hard to keep up with that. And if you're going to keep up with that, it has to be a passion. And
Yeah.
for me, I'm just not passionate about the tech.
Yeah.
I'm more passionate about using it and taking the photo. So I try to keep up a bit, but I fall behind so hard.
So what is your camera like? What's in your camera bag when you go out on a trip or?
This is my super lightweight setup. This is the Sony A7R III with the 50 1.4. This is like my walking around town.
Yeah.
Get up.
Always with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kills it. Super loyal. Most of the time I have the 16 to 35 2.8. The G Master, that thing, that can do anything.
Yeah.
If you can't shoot a good photo with that lens, then you don't deserve it. That lens is crazy. But normally if I'm going hiking, I bring like a 3-lens setup. I bring the 50 1.4. I bring the G Master 16 to 35 2.8. And then I bring the 85 1.4 G Master for the telephoto stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a strange setup. A lot of people would like to bring a zoom, something more like 780 200, which I do have and I love, but I think it has a very boring vibe to it. It's fun for action, but it's kind of boring for everything else.
Yeah.
So I tend to bring primes because they're more fun.
And even that is like kind of like a creative restriction, a creative challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just have primes.
Zoom with your feet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just move.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I mean, I hike so much anyway, and you get such unique stuff with that f1.4.
Yeah.
Especially during the daytime. If you're shooting on the A9, for example, you have 1/32,000th of a second shutter speed.
Yeah.
You can shoot 1.4 in midday.
Wow.
And it's like, it's super cool and super unique. Nobody else is going to have that.
And any like accessories and stuff like that that you always have to bring with you. Like
I
I always have ND filters
Yeah.
for my camera because I'm filming and I need that low shutter speed.
Yeah, I'm a little bit militant in what I pack, in that I like to hike far and I like to hike high. So I try to pack pretty light. I'm usually carrying a tent and a sleeping bag and a second backpack anyway, so I got to save that space. I do, however, like to bring a polarizing filter.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun. I get darker blues, richer blues. It's just a different way to shoot, especially if I'm shooting cars. Then I have to, because I love shooting cars as well. Car photography is like my biggest passion at the moment.
Yeah.
And there you need it.
Yeah.
That's like, guaranteed. So that's usually in my camera bag. But other than that, I'm pretty militant in what I pack. I've started to give up tripods. I don't bring tripods 90% of the time now. It's just too heavy, waste of space. And I mean, if you have 1.4, you can shoot until midnight.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's fun. There's nothing stopping you from shooting handheld. So especially if you know the photos are only going to end up on social media or the internet, why not just get rid of the tripod, save weight, and keep moving?
I brought a tripod to Bali because so many times I used it.
None?
None.
Oh, there you go.
It's terrible.
Yep.
Just carrying it around.
Yeah.
Just never used it.
If you're shooting surf, a monopod is pretty cool, I hear. But
I tried it, but I was in a boat. So the boat was like reacting to the waves as well. So I just had to stand there. But I had like the stabilizing on the GH5, the Panasonic.
Yeah.
So that was quite nice.
That is nice.
So, but there was a lot of shots there that was just never going to see the light of day just because they're just so...
Yep.
It was weird.
Stabilizing in body has become key.
Yeah.
A key. For me, it's like if I don't have it, I can shoot maybe like... I'd like half, maybe a fourth the shutter speed is what I could do with hand.
Yeah.
Which is such a problem if you're shooting products or lates or you want like a still shot.
But it's one of the things as well, like in-body stabilization. You get used to it within seconds, and then it's so hard to go back.
Yeah. Fun little challenge I gave myself. I was shooting at a carnival in Brussels the other day, and I was trying to shoot 1 second exposures by hand.
Really?
Super fun. Totally worked. Like perfectly.
Wow.
It was crazy. I can show you some afterward.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
It was pretty wild, and I was super stoked. But 1 second handheld totally worked. 5-axis image stabilization.
Wow.
Now we're talking.
That's amazing.
Plug in Sony constantly.
Yeah, well, it's on the new camera as well.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
It's
key.
It's quite insane what you can do now.
Yeah.
What is your future plans for next 5 years? What's the 5-year plan?
That's a tough question. You never know. I want to stick to photography. I like it. I'm having a lot of fun. I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the hustle. And I'm in a place now where work comes to me more often than I go to it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy there.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
It is very nice.
Yeah.
But I want to add more responsibility.
Yeah.
I want to add, I want to do my own podcast, which I've started. And then I want to
What's the name of it?
Perspective, but like the Norwegian spelling. It's a name that I've carried on throughout my, I've had a gallery entitled Perspective. I've started an events photography company called Perspective. It's just something that I've carried throughout my career. So that has to factor into it somehow. Yeah. But aside from that, it's just keep pushing, maybe change my direction a little bit. I do like commercial outdoor photography, but I want to go a little bit more towards cars and more commercial stuff. And
before we move on to this week's recommendations, do you have any advice for young inspiring photographers, anyone who wishes to enter the business? It's said a million times and it can never be overstated, is just shoot. Yeah. Shoot constantly. When I first started, I was outside constantly till 4 a.m, just shooting, just to get better. People were out Saturday night getting drunk, walking around town, and I was just weaving in between them trying to find shots. Yeah. That's what it takes. And I did it every day, summer, winter, whatever. I was just outside shooting. And you just get better and better and better. And the more people who see you do it, the more companies start coming to you and the more clients start to recognize that you're real. Yeah. If you're not shooting, you're not synonymous with photography, and then your name just becomes affiliated with photo enthusiast. Exactly. Not professional. Yeah. So it's just shoot and try to challenge yourself a bit. Shoot things you've never thought you wanted to shoot. Shoot things you're not interested in. Challenge yourself to go out and find models. That's the hardest when you're young and you don't know anybody who wants to be in front of the camera, or maybe you don't think your friends are good looking enough or whatever. There's always an excuse you can give yourself, but just find people who want to be in front of it and shoot. Go to modeling agencies, ask for test shoots, just find them.
there are so many people on Instagram now who desperately want photos of
Oh,
themselves.
there's tons, yeah.
Yeah, and as long as you shoot like f1.4, they're gonna post your material.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what Instagram's for. So just shoot.
I love it. That's a good advice. Always a good advice to hear. Can't get enough of that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. All right, we're moving on to this week's recommendations.
I'm curious about this.
Yeah, this is kind of like a thing we have every week where we recommend something to the listeners.
Yeah.
And it can be like an Instagram profile. It can be anything you want, really. Like last time we had the photographer, he recommended to people to get a hobby.
Okay.
So it can be anything.
Recommended people to get a hobby.
Yeah.
That sounds like an insult. Get a hobby. Fucking
Get a
loser.
hobby. But it's like he said, like when you're like your photography first is a hobby and then becomes a job, so you got to get another hobby as like
Yes.
outside of that.
Yes.
I thought it was sound advice.
It is good advice.
Do you have anything you want to recommend the listeners
get a hobby.
this week? Exactly.
No, in terms of the hobby stuff, it's super interesting because most photographers come from a hobby.
Yeah.
And photography is ancillary to
Yeah.
that hobby. It's an add-on. I'm going to start documenting my friends doing this hobby. And I think that's the perfect way to get into photography.
Yeah.
So in terms of the hobby stuff, really figure it out what it is you enjoy outside of photography. Get good at that. And the more you understand that, the more you'll understand where the better photo comes from. So it's not just get a hobby, it's figure out what you enjoy doing, figure out how to get better at it, and then your photography will get better at covering it.
Exactly.
But challenges, challenge yourself to the challenge I was talking about earlier. Shoot 1 second by hand.
Yeah.
See if you can do that.
See if we can do that without
It's
a
fun.
stabilizer.
Without a stabilizer. There you go. Turn it off. See if you can figure out how that works.
Steady hands.
Yeah.
Steady hands.
Yeah. Rest your elbow on your knee. Come
Yeah.
up with something new.
Well, like
Or-
I said, like I've never used a gimbal or anything like that, like a steady cam
Yeah.
thing. I've learned how to like stabilize with my hands and like learn all the different movements you need to do as well. Just practice doing that.
Yeah.
Like
And also with that, it comes to learning how to understand when shaky footage suits.
yeah,
If you're filming, shaky footage can be cool. I mean, a lot of people do it. See, it looks like more point of view stuff.
yeah,
It has its place. So
Yeah, yeah,
learn
yeah.
when it's supposed to be used and learn how to utilize it,
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
appreciate it.
cool. I want to recommend this week a location that
Cool.
I lived here for 3 years and it's in England. It's called Cornwall.
All right.
It's a spot in England.
Nice.
It's a really, really nice place, especially during the summer. It's almost
Okay.
tropical there.
Yeah.
Like there's palm trees and everything. It's a weird to like associate that with England. So and I saw like there's more planes going there to Newquay, which is
Okay.
a surf spot there. So there's flights going
Ah.
directly to Newquay,
Nice.
like from Denmark, I think.
yeah.
So if you want to like have a spot to travel this year that's not like bombarded with tourism,
Yeah.
you should definitely check out Cornwall.
Cornwall is dope.
Yeah,
I've never been, but I want to.
amazing spots to take pictures there
That's
as well. And you can surf.
In terms of locations, I'm trying to think of like cool locations in Norway. Because I guess most of your listeners are Norwegian.
Yeah.
What's a location in Norway that hasn't been plagued with tourists that's still dope?
Or Lofoten is bombarded with.
That's done. Lofoten's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Lofoten's cool. I mean, you're going to get the shots, but you're going to have the same shot as everybody else.
Yeah.
If you want a Lofoten vibe, go to Senja instead.
Oh yeah.
Senja is a bigger island. It's up north. It's bigger mountains, but they still have the dramatic mountain straight into the water kind of vibe. But if you're around there, go the other direction to Sweden. There's a small national park called Rago, Rago. And it's pretty untouched. It's Norway's newest national park. God, I'm losing my English. It's the youngest national park in Norway, and it's pretty small, and it's super dramatic, cool hiking, very easily accessible. That place is
a
cool.
nice road trip to go there as well, I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to take the lazy way, you fly to Bordeaux and drive 40 minutes into there.
And then that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
Sweet, man. All right, Kyle, thanks for coming in, man. This is
Awesome.
really nice.
Yeah, this is fun.
30 minutes on the spot.
Oh, I'm into it. Sweet.
Cool. And if any of the listeners out there have any recommendations about like guests or subjects and stuff we can talk about on next week's episode of the podcast, just send it in and follow us on every social media at Facebook, YouTube, and
Yes, sir.
Instagram.
And go to photo.no and buy some shit.
Do it, yeah. follow Kyle on Instagram as well. What's your Instagram?
Kyle Meyr.
Colin Meyr. That's
Yeah, on
it,
Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and
We'll link it
wherever
below,
else.
man. We'll link it below.
Now we're talking. I'll also be in the comment section.
Yeah.
So if you have some questions directly for me, I'll be there. Hit me up.
Exactly, yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.